Jane from Calamity Stampede. I've got a really quick and easy project for you today. This is a cookie gusset bag, and it's a great little gift idea. Maybe you want to make them up for a birthday party to give them as your little goodie bag, or you can make it up as a friend gift if you need something to give a quick friend. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's super simple. I'm also going to give you a few alternatives. You can see I just put some cookies inside a cellophane bag. And you can put any treats you want in here, it doesn't matter, but I'm doing cookies today. And I made a little tag. Now this one says Munch Love, but you can make it say anything you want. And the cookie opens and you can put your to and from inside of it. So I'm going to get right into it and show you how to make it. First thing you're going to need are circles. Now I cut my circles out of creamy caramel, which is a retired color, but you could use soft suede or crumb cake. That'd be a perfect brown color for it. So any light brown will do. This is my big shot. I'm just going to show you how it works real quick. Here's the magnetic platform. To make your sandwich, you put a cutting pad, then your cardstock and your cutter, and then another cutting pad on top. And we're just going to run it through the big shot, and it's going to cut it out for us. You can use any circle tool that you've got to cut a circle. Maybe you don't want your circles perfect, that's okay. You can cut them out by hand, however you want to do it. But now we've got 2 circles, and the big shot just makes that a lot faster for us. So now I've got my 2 circles cut out. These are going to be my cookies. I also have 2 pieces of a light green. This is Pear Pizzazz. And I just grabbed some scraps that I had, so it doesn't really matter what size. You can cut them to the size you want. Let's look at the cookie first. Okay, so how did I make my cookie? I'm going to show you. Foxy Friends. You wouldn't automatically think Foxy Friends is a set that you would make a cookie out of, right? But I'm going to show you how to do it. Notice the little faces here. There are 3 little faces that, they correspond to the different animals. Well, we're going to make them our chocolate chips. What I did was I took my C block, and as you can see, I stuck the faces on in a random pattern. I'm going to come over here and grab my early espresso, and I'm going to start inking up my cookie. These are automatically becoming my chocolate chips, see? So this is a fun little way to use something in a way it was not intended. But I love thinking outside the box and repurposing things and using things that you normally wouldn't think about to make something different. So I didn't have any chocolate chip stamp cookies, so I made my own. So there we go. Now I've got a beautifully little stamped chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to run through this one real fast. You don't have to put chocolate chips on the second one if you don't want, but I like chocolate chips. So we're going to make our second cookie chocolate chippy too. So now that I'm done, you see how fast that was? It doesn't take long at all. I'm going to just clean my stamp and set it aside. And I'm done with early espresso. The next thing I'm going to need is a lighter color brown. I'm using soft suede here, but you could also use crumb cake as well. And I'm going to take one of my sponges. Now you notice I cut my sponges into 4 different smaller pieces because it gives me more surface area. So this one's obviously been used up. I've been using it a lot this week. But you can rinse these off and the color kind of comes off and you can use them again. So I'm just inking this up, rubbing it to get the ink on it. And I'm just going to start lightly going around it. And this is just going to add some texture. Kind of make it look a little bit more like a cookie because cookies have a little bit of texture in them. They're not just plain and flat. Now if you like it this way, you can leave it that way. You don't have to put texture on it. It is completely up to you. So I'm just adding my texture here. Now, the other thing I'm going to do to make the top cookie, I'm not going to do it to the bottom one, but just the top. Oh yeah, I'm also going to just rub the edges a little bit of this. It kind of outlines the edge for me. So I'm just kind of rubbing the edges on my ink pad and turning it as I go. I'll do it to both of them. Now the top cookie, I want a bite taken out of it. And I don't really want to bite it myself. When I was a kid, I used to eat paper and, in like kindergarten or 1st grade, but I don't do that anymore. See how my top cookie has a bite taken out of it? The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab one of my old pair of scissors. These are the Stampin' Up scissors. These are from many years ago. But you can use whatever scissors you have. I mean, regular scissors you could do too, just make it a little choppier. So I'm just going to take a bite out of this one and just kind of make a little half moon circle like that. And see, it kind of makes a little bite mark. And I'll just run the edge again so you can see it a little bit better, like that. Now the top cookie is done. I'll set those aside. We're done with this ink pad now. Put that aside. Okay, so our 2 cookies are complete. The next thing we need to do is we need to look at our little green tags, okay? So with the green tags, this one I used the same pair of scissors, and I just cut, you know, I cut all around it like so. And this one, I only cut one edge, and then I cut the corners kind of to make it look like a tag. See, now it looks a little bit like a tag. All right, and to add a little bit of color to this one, I'm going to take a darker green. This one's Old Olive, but again, you can use whatever colors that you have or like. So for this one, I'm just going to run the edge along like so, and then these corners. You don't have to do this, I just think it kind of adds a little bit of pop to it. And this one, I'm only going to do the 2 edges this way. Those 2 long edges. There we go. I'm satisfied with that. Now, let me put this one away. You could use this green one again. I decided I'm going to go back to my early espresso. I'm going to pull this one out again, because now I want to stamp my tags with what I want them to say. You can use a marker and write on here to and from, or whatever message that you want. You can write whatever message you want on here, but I'm gonna go, I've got some old retired stamp sets. This one is called Hearts and Posies, and it happens to have a to and from stamp that I love this. I use this a lot. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna stamp this one on the big tag. So I'm just gonna ink up my stamp, make sure it's good and inked, and then let's see, yeah, in this corner back here, I'm just gonna stamp it down. And now that tag is complete, okay? I'm gonna clean my stamp off. That stamp set we're done with. Now this is another older retired set called Treat Yourself. On this one, I did Munch Love, but you can use that one. There's that stamp. I'm gonna use, just for some variety, I'm going to use Treat Yourself to a Wonderful Day. So I'm going to ink up my stamp and line it up. I'm just eyeballing this. You can use a Stamp-A-Majig if you need to. So there's that one. I'm going to clean my stamp off. This stamp set's done. I'm putting it aside. Again, you can use markers or whatever you want, pens or whatever, and write your own on there. Now we need to adhere these onto our cookies. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my snail adhesive tape runner, and it makes it fast and easy to adhere stuff. You don't have to wait for your glue to dry. And I'm going to hang this off just a bit. And you notice what I did wrong there. I actually went too far to the edge with the glue on this side. You know, you can kind of rub it with your finger and it'll peel up, kind of like when you were a kid and you got glue on your fingers and you'd rub them to get it off. Same idea. So there's that tag. Now the top cookie is going to go over it like this. So we're going to adhere this one right about there, and I like to angle stuff. So I'm going to go toward the bottom and angle it right about there. So I only want my tape to come out to about this point. So I'm just going to use my snail adhesive tape runner, and I'm just going to stick it on right about there. Now that part is done. We're done with our ink pads. Now comes the part where we have to make our hole. So I'm going to use both of them to make sure I line them up, since this is where I want this. I'm going to put my hole right about up in here. So I'm punching a hole, and I go all the way through and make sure it's nice and big, like so. And let me pause my video so that I can get my brad, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I got my brad. I'd forgotten to grab it earlier. And I went ahead and cut a piece of linen thread. Here's our linen thread. And I cut a piece and I stuck it through the hole. It wasn't hard because it's a very thin thread. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to tie a little knot here to keep the two together. I'll just tie like a sort of square knot. Okay, so that's going to keep our cookies together initially. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my brad through. So go ahead, you can use smaller brads too if you have some of those, whatever you like, whatever color. So I've got my brad through it. And see, so now our tag is together and it's going to open for us. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gusset bag. I took a gusset bag and I put some cookies in it. I put 3 on each side and then 1 in the middle because that's a good little arrangement. Now I'm going to close it right up about here and twist. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab ribbon. I grabbed just 2 different colors. It doesn't matter what colors that you grab, but I grabbed some green ones since my tag has some green in it. So whatever ribbon you have is going to work. Stampin' Up! Sells some really pretty ribbon. You'll have to look in the new catalog that just was released today. Now what I did is I tied this around and in a knot. Well, I attempted to, it didn't work. I'm just doing this real quick. Okay, so there's my rough general knot. Now I'm going to take my tag and I'm just going to wrap it around and tie it onto my bag. And again, make another knot. And then, there we are. Now we have our little cookie gift with our little cookie tag. So this is a really quick, easy way to do it. You can put other things. You can put candy in here and maybe make a piece of candy. You can cut it out yourself if you want. Any treats are going to go in here. Donuts. You can make circles and then cut a circle out in the middle and make it a donut one and put donuts in here. So there's a lot of different options. You know, today I think is National Donut Day. So it's a little bit late in the day, but you know, you can give your friends donuts tomorrow too. So that's a really fun, quick, easy gift idea, and make a bunch of these up and they're perfect for a birthday party. So subscribe to my videos. I've got a lot more ideas that I'm going to be filming over the next few weeks, and I think you're going to like some of them. Some of them are a little unexpected, and maybe I have a surprise coming up soon. Today is June 1st, 2018, so Stampin' Up's new 2018-2019 catalog is online. It's a free PDF download. If you want a hard copy of it, they're $5. And if you happen to book a workshop with me, you get yours for free. So that's a good way to get them. So subscribe, and get out there and start making some really fun little cookie gift bags. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.